Hey, truth seekers, welcome back. Zach here. Today's February 24th, 2016. Next week will be Super Tuesday, the date where several states have their primaries, and after that it becomes clear who the candidates will be for the Democratic and Republican parties for president. I suspect that after Super Tuesday, we will have our candidates. They will be Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump. Last year, summer and spring, I made several videos on the election showing what was going on and what was likely to come. Back then, I was leaning towards the fact that the next president would likely be Hillary Clinton, an assumption I held from 2008 after Obama was elected president. Hillary still could become president, but I'm trying to be unbiased, and I'm trying to figure out what makes the most sense in this crazy nation as the next president of the United States. And in brainstorming about that, that is the weirdest shit, truth seeker. The light just turned on in here, and there's no way for that light to come on without me hitting the switch. This house I live in, it's crazy. Read my blog. I've talked about how I live in a haunted house. Anyhow, maybe the ghost is telling me I needed more light in here. All right, back to the point. The next president for this nation and why Donald Trump might make the most sense. If you're not aware, the elections are rigged. Who's ever to be the next president is already chosen. So, what we should look at is the direction this nation's heading. Right now, in the time of the Obama presidency, the powers that be, the people who control our government, who rig the elections, who control the media, right now they are working overtime to divide us among race, religion, sex, sexuality, political party, etc. I don't know what's going on with the light, truth seeker. It's weird. Never seen it do that before. Anyhow, with regards to the powers that be working to divide us, the candidate that makes the most sense to step into the White House is Donald Trump. Why? Because since he's been getting the mainstream coverage going back to May of 2015, all he's been doing is making divisive remarks against women, against Muslims, against Hispanics, against blacks. Do you remember how at a recent rally of his, there was a Black Lives Matter protester who showed up and was beaten, and Donald Trump made the remark that he deserved it? Just weeks before that, he threw out a Hispanic reporter from Telemundo making racist remarks against Mexicans. And this came on the backs of him accusing Mexicans of being responsible for all the raping in this nation. Do you recall those stories from last summer? Days after making those remarks, we got the story out of San Francisco where an illegal immigrant supposedly named Juan Francisco Lopez, or maybe it was Juan Francisco Sanchez Lopez, either way, some ridiculous sounding name. We got this story of him finding a federal agent's gun on the pier, picking it up, and accidentally shooting a woman. All ridiculous propaganda, all part of the divisive narrative going on in this nation. And that example shows what puppets these people are. Donald Trump's just going out there and saying what his masters tell him to say. That's because the agenda right now is divide and conquer above all else. Donald Trump, again, attacking women, Muslims, Mexicans, blacks, and countless other groups. And worst of all, the media gives him a pass, but not only gives him a pass, also validates him. We get these people who show up on his behalf and speak for him and say how he's the voice of the people, and he's saying things people have been wanting to say for years. This is unprecedented. You know, earlier this week, Ben Carson, who's also a Masonic stooge, a fraud, a phony, another puppet out there, he made the remarks that Obama is not really black because he grew up raised by white people in Hawaii, whereas he, Ben Carson, grew up in the hood around black people in Detroit. And anybody who's seen Ben Carson knows he's not very hood-like, and if, you know, oh, I'll just let it be. Whatever. The point is, Ben Carson is being put down by the media for those remarks, saying those are the signs that he's not presidential. And Ben Carson makes controversial remarks. The media says, see, that's proof he's not presidential. But meanwhile, Donald Trump has been very immature and got nothing but validation. And it's been going on since May of 2015. In fact, in my lifetime, I've never seen anybody get as much media attention as Donald Trump. Donald Trump has been front and center in the mainstream media on all networks since May of 2015. That is now going on 9 months. Every time a major story is broken, we've heard what Donald Trump has to say before the president, before any elected member of Congress, before any notable figure in society. It's been the Donald Trump show. Donald Trump has been shoved down our throats. And why? I mean, what is Donald Trump's background? Game show contestant? The Apprentice? What else? What else has Donald Trump done? Been born into a rich family? You know, Donald Trump a few months back talked about how, you know, he's not much different than anybody else. His father gave him $1 million as a teenager. That's, you know, that's pretty ordinary. That's how he talked about it. This guy does not represent the American people. This is another entitled member of society from the group of haves, and meanwhile, the vast majority of us are from the have-nots. And so many people in the have-nots get lured in to supporting these people who don't give a fuck about them. There's no other way to put it. If you're out there and you support Donald Trump, you've been sucked into a trap. Donald Trump does not care about you. Donald Trump is an egomaniac, self-obsessed, from wealth, and if he does become the ex-president, just another stooge. And besides all those points, Truth Seeker, anytime Donald Trump's asked about what his plan is for America, he has no plan. The only plan that he has talked about is building a wall between the United States and Mexico. An idea from the Republicans and conservatives going back decades. He has no plan on anything. He just talks cheap. I'll make America great again. I'll make people want to invest here. How? He doesn't say how. He says, well, when I get to that point, I'll have my advisors and my committees and we'll figure it out. I mean, what is that, Truth Seeker? Donald Trump has shown that he's a shit talker with no plan. And I don't know how many people in this nation really support him, but I know people that do. You know, I've met a number of people who say they like him. And why do these people like him? Because we're a nation of people who like to be entertained, and Donald Trump's an entertainer, and these people are laughing while he's speaking and having a good time listening to him bash groups that they probably bash themselves. You know, that's what we really have been turned into, a nation of haters, people that love to divide and fight over nothing. And Donald Trump, he's just going to be the icing on the cake for this recipe that's been waged against us as a nation for decades. So, you know, no matter who the president is, the same things, whatever the plan is, it's going to be rolled out. But if it is Donald Trump, the reason he'll be the president is for what he does to us as a people, divides us further, makes us that much easier, much more easily conquered and ruled over. That's what it's all about. You know, keeping us, the masses, enslaved to tyranny, lies, and all things wrong. And that's what Donald Trump stands for. All right, Truth Seekers, until next time. Encore. There's one important point I forgot to make. When Obama first became president, it was Donald Trump who got mainstream media attention in a big way for bringing up the birther argument. Remember, saying that Obama was really from Kenya. That story dominated the first year of the Obama presidency. So there was a lot of Donald Trump at the beginning of the Obama presidency. And now, since last May, which means the final year and a half of the Obama presidency, we've gotten all sorts of Donald Trump coverage. The Obama presidency began with Donald Trump, and it's concluding with Donald Trump. And I don't think that's any coincidence. I think that's all signs of the rigging and how this nation is a staged, pre-planned joke. All right, until next time.